This arrived last night, so I kept it in the box until our conversation. So I'm just gonna rip through. I know.
Hey, how you doing? It's Kylie Olsson here. Now, I haven't done a check-in for a while, so I thought I would just, let you know how this whole guitar journey is going now that I'm 8 months into it. Now, I've had some pretty amazing lessons slash tips from some fantastic players, from Joe Bonamassa, Miles Kennedy, Doug Aldridge, Tyler Bryant. You can check them all out on the channel here. Please leave a comment and subscribe. That would be amazing. I love to get your feedback. And if you're on a guitar journey like me as well, then please let me know how it's going. I feel like I've reached a bit of a crossroads as far as my playing goes, because I've learned a few chords. Well, I've learned about 25 open chords. I've learned a few scales. I've learned parts of songs. I've learned some power chords. And I've now moved on to bar chords. The dreaded bar chords. I mean, they say, and I totally get this now, they say that bar chords are make or break for aspiring guitarists. And it's been horrible. I've hated it. My guitar teacher is quite strict, not strict, but he's making me learn a bit of the theory side of it, which is kind of killing me at the moment. And he's making me learn the whole fretboard and stuff like that, and the bar chords, and trying to work out what they're called. It just doesn't seem that straightforward, and I hate it, to be quite honest with you, but I'm going to keep pushing through it. It's a little bit like when you first start and your fingers are burning. I feel like this is the next stage, the bar chords. So that's why I wanted to get my guest on the show, because she is self-taught. She taught herself how to play the bass and the guitar in her bedroom when she was a kid. And I mean, that just blows my mind to think that someone can sit there and listen to records and work out the songs, because there's no way I can do that. So I really wanted her to get on to kind of see if she can motivate me a little bit on, just kind of learning by ear, and just to be inspired that maybe I don't have to learn all the theory. Sorry, Pav, my guitar teacher, but maybe I don't, Anyway, so she's self-taught, like I said, and then she's gone on to play with Courtney Love. She's now in Eagles of Death Metal. She's got a new solo album coming out. She's a total babe and a complete badass when it comes to playing her bass. Please welcome to Life in 6 Strings, or it really should be Life in 4 Strings, because she's here. Please welcome Jennie Vee.
Yay, Life in 4 Strings.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Kylie.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. It's not bad, getting through it all. So yeah, and we were just laughing because we didn't have a conversation before we did the interview about what we were going to wear, although we are looking very similar.
We have silk scarves, red lips.
Yep,
exactly.
And surrounded by guitars. Although, where's mine gone? Mine's there. Yours. You've got a nice selection there. So what have you got going on? So that's your bass, and then what else? What else have you got there?
I've got my Geddy Lee jazz bass here today. I like to play this a lot when I play with Jim in the Rockabilly Trio. I don't play the jazz bass with Eagles of Death Metal. I play a P bass, but I love my Geddy Lee. And then I've got a Frankenstein Strat. Fender Strat here. It has lipstick pickups, and it's old. It's from the 90s. It's been modded a lot. And then I have, this is my very first guitar.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a nice one to start with. So how old were you when you got that one?
Beautiful. Well, not until my early 20s did I get this one.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing bass first when I was 16. And then when I wanted to do more songwriting is when I decided that to facilitate that, it'd be handy to know how to play guitar too. So that's when I got that one.
That's brilliant. So it's funny because I started learning to play in April. I'm a bit late to the game. And one of the reasons why I wanted to chat to you is because I feel like I've got to this stage in my playing where my teacher, I have a guitar teacher that I see once a week, and he's very kind of pushing me down the theory route and like trying to make me learn all the notes for everything, which I understand is great, but I feel like I'm getting too bogged down with it, and it kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. And I know that you are self-taught, and you know, you've learned by listening in your bedroom to songs that you love. I mean, that just completely inspires me. I mean, how did you teach yourself that way? It just seems insane.
You just explained it. That's really it. Just listening. And I think that most of us who kind of take a musical journey have a musical ear.
Yeah.
So teaching yourself by playing along to some of your favorite songs helps you develop that. You just sit there, see what sounds right, get close to what would be the root note of a song, and if you find it, you'll know, and branch off from there. It's funny, when I knew I was coming on and we were going to be kind of talking about the process of learning an instrument, and I really can only speak to how I did it, and that's how I did it, just picking the notes out by ear.
I don't think I could ever do that, but
Really?
yeah, I'm not sure if I could. To me, that feels like that would take me forever. And I guess when you learn when you're a kid, I guess you've got a lot more time, haven't you? So it's fine to be in your bedroom for hours on end.
I was in my bedroom for hours on end. Absolutely. And I don't think I got even a word of advice on playing. And this was pre-internet days, so you couldn't just really Google and pull up tabs even. So it was probably 2-3 years into my playing that I even had anybody give me a tip. And I think it's a habit that I had that I still have, which I don't really think it makes a big difference, but I hang my pinky down a little bit when I play. And they said I need to hold it like this. What does it really matter? So I don't know if that's a bad habit or bad form or what it even means. I don't know. But I've never taken a lesson.
That is incredible. I mean, that's really inspiring to know that you've never had a lesson and you are where you are. I mean, when you were first starting to learn, what did you struggle with? Was there anything that you struggled with?
It's something that we all go through, and that it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It hurts. It hurts your fingertips. It hurts the muscles in your hand, especially right here, between your thumb and your first finger. And it's not pleasant to revisit the pain the next day, but no pain, no gain. So you have to push through it, and you have to develop the calluses. Yeah. And then when the pain goes away, it's a lot more fun to pick up your instrument. Did you have that?
Yes. And especially when I went over to the acoustic. So I started on electric and then started acoustic in the summer. And that just killed me. My fingers were like on fire. Yeah.
It's a totally different animal. It's unavoidable. So I think that puts a lot of people off when they first start playing. Oh, it hurts. It's not fun. It hurts and it's not fun. Yeah. But when you get something that sounds like a song and you start to get that confidence and the grounding and knowing what you're playing is right, there's no feeling like that in the whole world. I remember learning to do Little by the Pixies, which is a really bass-driven album, and I love Kim Deal. When I learned a full song, This Monkey's Gone to Heaven, I just felt like really I could take on the world.
That's excellent. And I bet you just played it over and over again.
Over and over and over again to get the feel of it. And I love to watch people play. So, you know, if there was a performance video, I would just watch it over and over again. I used to tape the videos off the TV and just see how people were standing. Some people had their bass up here, some people had it down here. Like I noticed those subtleties about people's styles.
That's interesting, because there is an art, isn't there, with that as well, like how you move and how you stand. And I've done that a little bit before I interview people. I try and watch them with the sound off so that I can just see how they move their hands, and like they have their thumb over the top sometimes, or like you say, you have your little pinky out.
On the strumming hand.
Yeah, it does. So paint a picture of what you were like as a kid then, when you kind of started to master the instrument and you were in your bedroom. What were you like? I mean, was it constantly in your bedroom all day long practicing, or?
Yeah, I was in my bedroom all day long practicing because I was the lone misfit goth teen in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. So there were no like school dances or hangouts with the volleyball team or anything like that for me. It was really all about music. So it was the place that I would go back to. I used to practice in the morning before school too. I'd wake up at 6:30 and the bass would be pumping in my house, no joke. And my parents tolerated that because they knew I didn't really have a social life per se. I had music and that was really enough for me. But I guess you're right. I never really thought about it, but I did spend a lot of time in my room with my instruments. And I mean, I made my room my own heaven and paradise. I painted the walls purple and I did a checkerboard floor and I had Cure posters all over. I love the Cure, I still do. So I just made that my world and I immersed myself in it.
That's brilliant. So you mentioned the Cure and you've mentioned the Pixies, but what was the band that made you pick up, or the artist that made you pick up the bass?
Yeah, Simon Gallup from the Cure.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy, Kylie? I mean, I don't know if we have time. We might. I just got a Simon Gallup bass that I haven't taken out of the box yet.
You are joking.
No, I'm not.
Go and get it. Go and get it.
Yeah, it's really close. It's right here. I'll be right back. My Simon Gallup bass from Schecker Guitars that I haven't even opened.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm really privileged to do this with you right now. I know how it feels to open a new box with a beautiful guitar inside. So, yeah,
and on the heels of you asking me that question about who inspired me to play bass, this arrived last night. So I kept it in the box until our conversation. So I'm just gonna rip through.
wow.
I know.
So how come you got this guitar? What did they send it to you, or is this like been on your, you know, on your list of something to treat yourself?
It's been on my list. Absolutely. And it's actually an exciting announcement I have to make. I'm going to be, wow, it's really light.
Oh my God, that looks brilliant on you as well. Look at it.
Yeah, I'm going to be working with Schecker Guitars. I've been a Fender artist for 15 years and they've been wonderful to me and I love them a lot, but it was just time to kind of branch out, and I really, really love Schecker and what they do and the artists they work with, especially The Cure.
Yeah.
I went to their headquarters the other week and oh my God.
Does it feel good?
Oh yeah. It's so awesome. I'm freaking out. Kylie, it's so light.
Is it? That's the thing, isn't it? It's about how it fits your body and how you can move with it and stuff. That's brilliant. So matches your boots. I mean, this is this all seems like we've planned this, but we haven't.
I could totally fly around with this on stage. So I can't even believe how light it is. I mean, that's kind of one of my moves, you know.
That is excellent. That's well, that's good. So you won't have a bad back then if you have a light guitar.
Yeah, I won't herniate my third disc.
Shit.
I know, but I'm okay.
That's the thing. It's not all plain sailing, is it? You know, being a professional musician. No.
You have a lot of injuries. It's just like anything else with repetitive motion over and over again. And, you know, obviously athletes get those things, hairstylists get those things. Anyone who's on a computer all day has issues with their wrists and carpal tunnel syndrome and things like that. And it's definitely a hazard of the job. Yeah, especially when you're wearing heels and playing a standard.
I don't know how you do it. I saw you at Download Festival and yeah, you were badass. I was like, oh my God, the way you're moving around, like you say, you're wearing heels and you just, yeah, you look great when you're on stage.
That day, yeah. They weren't rain appropriate, but.
You're all right. You're on stage. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's cool. But so what was the motivation for you? Like that, what was the drive to keep practicing so much? And just, was it always, you know, did you always want to be a professional musician or?
Yeah, I always wanted to be in a band. It's really the only thing that I ever saw myself doing. I was so inspired by the artists that I loved, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. It's who I wanted to be. If I could have the effect on anyone that they had on me, would have been such an amazing thing. But first and foremost, it's because I wanted to do it, you know? I just wanted to play music, and that's how I saw myself.
And so how did it come about that you ended up touring with Courtney Love? Because I mean, you're a big Hole fan as well, aren't you? So that must have been one of those moments where you're like, oh, I don't believe it.
Yes, it was when I was a teenager in Sudbury and, you know, spending a lot of time by myself and absorbing music, and I became a whole fan, and Lived Through This was another one of my favorite albums. And she was really my first musical hero that was female. I'd always, just looked up to guys. I didn't feel I needed another girl to look up to. It wasn't about that for me. And to listen to her talk and to hear her music, I related to what she was saying. She always said something, I don't want to date the football captain, I want to be the football captain, I didn't want to date a musician, I wanted to be a musician. So I liked a lot of the things she said. It really resonated with me. And I thought, wow, I'd love to play with her. And 22 years later, I did. So.
And what was that like?
Amazing. I already knew all the songs, so that was great. And it was kismet, but I really don't believe in coincidences. I think when you hold true to, when you know what you want for yourself, and even if it sounds crazy, if you just stay true to it and you write it down, writing things down is key, you can really manifest those things in your life. So one summer I was DJing at a club in Williamsburg in Brooklyn, and my boss is a friend of Courtney's, and I spun a whole track one night, and he said, do you know her? And I was like, Courtney? And he's like, yeah. I said, no, I don't. And he said, you guys should be friends. So funnily enough, the week later, she came to New York. She was doing a musical called Kansas City Choir Boy, and she was in town for rehearsals. And as luck would have it, she was staying at a hotel on my street. So we had breakfast one day and got to talking and became friends. And we just hung out the whole time she was in New York. And we were hanging out one day, and she said, oh, Lana Del Rey asked me to do her tour, her upcoming summer tour. What do you think? What do you think about her and her music? And I was like, oh yeah, she's pretty cool. Courtney's like, should we do it? I was like, should we do it? Heck yeah, we should do it. So that was really cool.
Were.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so then, okay. And so fast forward, you're now in Eagles of Death Metal, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cute little dog again. And obviously you guys aren't touring at the moment, but you've just made a solo record. Is that right?
Yeah, I just released a song. So I'm working towards an album, a full album, but I've been sitting on this track for now almost a year. And I'm so excited that it's finally out.
And so when's the album coming out then?
As soon as I'm done writing it.
As soon as you're done. So hey, so you haven't recorded the whole album yet then?
No, I haven't. I've done about half of an album.
Okay.
Yeah, I have half an album's worth of material completely recorded and done. A lot of it was done during this lockdown, which has been interesting because, some studios are open and then they're closed, and some people have concerns and some people don't. And it's a matter of kind of putting a puzzle together at this time, but it's coming together, and I really haven't finished writing it. I don't feel that I'm finished writing it. There's some other songs that need to happen.
And what about musicians? Who's going to play on it?
Oh my gosh. Well, our neighbor, Jeff Skunk Baxter.
Okay.
Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
I can see his house from here. He's played on a couple of tracks, and it was funny because I was recording and playing the pedal steel guitar on my garage band on my laptop, engineering Jeff Baxter. Like, where am I? But he's been friends with Jim for 30 years now, and we're neighbors. So he's on the album.
Okay.
Jesse has sang some backing vocals. Josh Leve, our guitar player in Eagles of Death Metal, has played on it. We worked with Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses in his studio. We have Eric Dover, and his band was Jellyfish, and he's really, really cool. Teddy Zigzag on keys, and he also played with Guns N' Roses for a few albums. Who else?
I think you've got the drummer sorted, right?
Oh, my drummer's sorted. Yeah, he's in the next room. Yeah.
He's got to be on it.
And more people. It's like this one is really like taking a village, and all my friends and everything, which is such a lovely feeling for me because I was a bit of a control freak in the past with my solo music, where I had to do everything. I had to play guitar. I had to play every single part and write every single word and every single melody. And I was really, really adamant about that because I used to worry that people wouldn't take me seriously if I didn't do everything myself. And I'm way past that now. I'm like, you're a badass, you got to play on this. I just want all my friends involved. So it's been really, really fun.
Is that since we've had, this whole crazy time with the world going on its arse. Is that since that, or was that before that you kind of felt like you wanted to kind of let go a little bit?
And of course, my friend Chris Cheney, he's in Australia. He plays in a band called The Living End. So we wrote the song together that's out now, Out for Blood. I can't believe it.
Okay, yeah.
And that was before anything lockdown. We were collaborating on ideas and stuff, because I really think he's an amazing songwriter and just one of the world's best guitar players too. So it was a real pleasure to write with him. So we wrote that song and then started recording it. So yeah, that started before.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting times. You've been productive, which is good.
Yeah, I'm super busy. And then I have on the side my fashion thing, which I love, because let's face it, music and fashion go hand in hand. They just do. And I do hand make every single thing myself.
I know, that's insane that you do that. I mean, how do you, I mean, you must be sewing all day long.
I am sewing all day long. Yes, I am. So when I wake up, I have a coffee, I maybe meditate a little bit, do a little workout, and then I love sewing. I love hands-on things, you know?
Yeah. That's great. And then you've got the sunglasses as well, the Jennie Vee sunglasses.
Kylie eyewear, I believe they are very close to being sold out. Once the style is gone, they're gone. But we're working on a new frame idea. So those frames are interesting because I wanted a V-shape frame for Jennie Vee. But if you turn them sideways, it's actually shaped like a guitar pick as well.
Amazing. Was that by accident, or was that
something we talked about doing?
Okay, cool.
And your packaging on those is so great. It comes with the guitar pick and the box is really cute. Like we paid attention to all the details on those frames because I wear shades a lot on stage.
You need some badass sunglasses then, don't you? And that's great if you can design them exactly how you want them. Perfect.
They're such an amazing company. They're just wonderful people. It's a family-run business and I love working with them. They're so cool. So we're kind of cooking up the next frame. Right now I have a few ideas, but we'll see for 2021.